Hi there, it's a Saturday, January 13th, and time for Proverbs 13. We're using English Standard Version. I stopped using the online version of the NIV, the one on this Bible Gateway program over here. This one we can show you. This is a 2011 version, and it's just too, I hate to say it, but it's wrong, okay? It's just wrong. They've gone woke, so to speak, and it reads like an Orson Welles book. It's kind of alarming the more I studied into this version right here. And so I'm not going to use that. Needless to say, in 1984, they changed it all around. The NIV before 1984 was the most accurate, the most carefully researched translation ever made. Okay? And a lot of people thought it was the truest version of the Bible. But after 1984, they endeavored to take out all gender and make everything gender neutral. And I'm not against, women or children or anything, but the Bible says what the Bible says, and you're not supposed to change it. So after 1984, they changed it, and they ordered that the 1984 version no longer be printed ever, and to destroy it. That's kind of scary, because that's not what it is. Now, I have a Bible here that I'll be using. It is an NIV that I bought in 1983. I've had this for a long time. And it's totally different from the new versions. The words are completely different. Closer to the English Standard Version here. So I'll be comparing stuff in my 1983 NIV. And I'm going to do a video later on today pointing out the exact differences of these so you can see. So let's begin this in the English Standard Version. A wise son hears his father's instructions, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke. From the fruit of his mouth a man eats what is good, but the desire of the treacherous is for violence. Man. Whoever guards his mouth preserves his life. Got that? Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. He who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. Right. And what does that say now? NIV says, he who guards his lips guards his soul, but he who speaks rashly will come to ruin. The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. Right. The righteous hates falsehood, but the wicked brings shame and disgrace. Shame or stench. Oh, wicked stink. How do you like that? What's it say over here? The righteous hate what is false, but the wicked bring shame and disgrace. NIV. Stinks. I like that. This literal translation is stinks. That's funny. Righteousness guards him whose way is blameless, but sin overthrows the wicked. Eventually. One pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. Another pretends to be poor, yet has great wealth. This is true. I have known some multi-millionaires who wear old and dirty clothes and drive old cars. They don't want anybody knowing what they have, and they want to keep it all to themselves. Neither one is good. The ransom of a man's life is his wealth, but a poor man hears no threat. All right. If you got a lot of money, somebody's always going to be after it. Always going to be after it. And if you're poor, they tend to leave you alone. The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked will be put out. Yes, eventually. By insolence comes nothing but strife, but with those who take advice is wisdom. Insolence, what does that say in the old NIV? Pride only breeds quarrels, but wisdom is found in those who take advice. I like that better. And we can look up the word insolence here. That's strange. Rude and disrespectful behavior. Right. That's actually better in here. Pride breeds quarrels. Okay, 11. Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little increases it. Yes. People who work and save little by little builds it up. Wealth gained hastily, what does this say, or by fraud? All right. Look at people that win the lottery. Okay. 99% of them within a year are broke and are in worse shape than they were before they won the lottery. Okay. Little by little. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. What's that saying here? It says the same thing. Hope deferred. Deferred. To put off an action or event to a later time. To postpone. Yes. Yeah. You can think of like and you're waiting for a medical report and the doctor says, I have the report here. Come to my office next week and I'll tell it to you. That drives you crazy because you don't know. I mean, just give me the answer. Right? Whoever despises the word brings destruction on himself. Right? A word. The word. But he who reveres the commandment will be rewarded. Right? Do what you're supposed to. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, that one may turn away from the snares of death. Right? That's true. That's true. Good sense wins favor, but the way of the treacherous is their ruin. Right? Every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool flaunts his folly. A fool flaunts his folly. Right. A wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a faithful envoy brings healing. See, back then they didn't have mail, they didn't have email, they didn't have, notes and stuff. These messengers for everything. So, I mean, this today could be translated into your social media, your email, your phone calls, right? A wicked messenger, people that put nasty things on the internet falls into trouble. A faithful envoy brings healing. Envoy is the same as messenger. Look at today, it would be social media, television, texts. 18. Poverty and disgrace come to him who ignores instruction, but whoever heeds reproof is honored. Right? Heeds reproof. Right. Take that stuff to heart. A desire fulfilled is sweet to the soul, but to turn away from evil is an abomination to fools. Fools rush in. This is a good one. Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. Right? You want to be smart? Hang around smart people. It's just that simple. A true, wise, smart person is always glad to instruct you and bring you along and help you out. Disaster pursues sinners, but the righteous are rewarded with good. good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous. Okay, this is a lot of people equate this with money. Leave an inheritance to your grandchildren. A good man leaves money, but that's not. Nowhere in here does Solomon talk about leaving money. He talks about gaining money through wisdom. Okay, it's all about wisdom over everything else. So when it says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, I take that personally, not to leave money to your children's children, because that'll corrupt everybody. Wisdom, okay? Teach your grandchildren. Teach them the good stuff. Teach them wisdom. Teach them prudence. And that's the inheritance you can leave to your children's children. Okay. 23, the fallow ground of the poor would yield much food, but is swept away through injustice. What does that say over here? A poor man's field may produce abundant food, but injustice sweeps it away. Yeah, same thing. 24, whoever spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him is diligent and disciplines him. That. Or I love this. He loves him, disciplines him early. Okay? You got to get to your kids. Kids learn everything they need to know to behave and get through life in the ages 1 through 8 years old. That's when you set the mold. That's when you set the pace. That's when they copy you and want to be like you, and you set the example. Okay? I mean, you can look at anything today and you can tell. It's very easy to tell, even from a distance, which kids were disciplined at an early age and which kids were not disciplined at all. Those are the ones that are sitting in the street blocking traffic and doing other stupid stuff. It's important. 25, the righteous has enough to satisfy his appetite, but the belly of the wicked suffers want. Yep. The belly of the wicked suffers want. Always want more. Yeah. The stomach of the wicked goes hungry, it says in the old NIV. So, that's Proverbs 13. We did highlight some stuff in here. Whoever guards his mouth preserves his life. He who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. What do I always say? Keep your mouth shut. Okay? It will preserve your life. And we highlighted 8. The ransom of a man's life is his wealth, but a poor man hears no threat. Right. And that's common. I mean, people want all the money and everything, but it's true. The more money you have, the more trouble you get. I mean, it's a lot of trouble because somebody's always trying to take it away. We highlighted 11. Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. What's that say in the old NIV? Dishonest money dwindles away, but he who gathers money little by little makes it grow. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. You want to win the lottery, but chances are it will ruin you every time. Okay. I highlighted 16. Every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool flaunts his folly. What does that say in the old NIV? A fool exposes his folly. Same thing. So, yeah. And you can see I'm reading along right here. And we talked about 17. A wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a faithful envoy brings healing. Messenger being, that's how they got messages back and forth. go over to this town and tell so and so that I said this. Okay, because they didn't have mail, they didn't have, they didn't have social media, they didn't have computers, they didn't have telephones, so they sent messengers, and this messenger could easily be construed today as social media, email, telephone calls, television. Okay, wicked messenger falls into trouble. Highlighted 20. Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. Right, what's that say over here? Same thing. Yeah, you want to be smart? Hang around smart people. Good people, clean people. Your grandmother. Be surprised how wise a Christian grandmother is. And 22, we talked about that a lot. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And just for fun, let's look up the word inheritance. A thing that is inherited. A thing. Doesn't say money, does it? It says a thing that is inherited. Knowledge, wisdom, prudence, learning when not to say something. That's the inheritance you should be leaving to your children's children, not money. Okay. And 24, whoever spares the rod hates his son. You got that? But he who loves him is diligent to discipline him, or loves him, disciplines him early. What does that say in the old NIV? He who spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him is careful to discipline him. Right. Wow. The righteous has enough to satisfy his appetite, but the belly of the wicked suffers want. So, there you have it. That's Proverbs 13 for January 13th. Have a good weekend. And we will talk more about how they're changing the Bible to try to make it all inclusive, but you're changing the Bible. And that's not what it says. The Bible says what it says. Okay? And there's tells you all about, if you change stuff in there, it tells you all about it. That's not a good thing. And we'll touch on some of that too later. But have a good day. Stay tuned later today for day 13 of our Bible in 1 year. We're still on Job until Monday. Then we'll go back to Revelation. But there you have it. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. See you later.